Hello. It's Andrew from 510 Books. And I want to talk today about whether or not it's worth using book selling as a side hustle or essentially as a way to make extra money. So a lot of my viewers are already selling books, have been selling for a while, or just curious about it, that kind of thing. But if you're finding this video and you are new to the idea or exploring the idea of selling books as a way to make extra income, and I'm talking, it could be anywhere from a couple $100 to $1,000 a month. I'm not talking like massive numbers. I'm not saying $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month. I'm saying something on the smaller side as a little extra money to test the waters and to see if it makes sense for you. So I started selling books. I started reselling, period, but I started with books over 10 years ago with Amazon. And I was using their FBA program, which is fulfilled by Amazon, which means that when somebody buys a book, which is a Prime offer, they're a Prime member on Amazon, that is through the FBA program, which means you list all the books through the Amazon website, and then you put them in the box and ship them off to whichever warehouse they designate, and then they receive them, pull the books out, scan them in, put them on their shelves, and when they sell, they ship them. That's the essentially what FBA is. Now, I'm not saying you should do FBA. I started with FBA. I recommend Fulfilled by Merchant, FBM, or MF for Merchant Fulfilled, or eBay. So if you're going to start selling books, I recommend doing Merchant Fulfilled on Amazon and or eBay. They're two different animals, but you could start with one, but it's kind of the same thing. It's just they have different marketplaces, different ways, to sign up and how to list, that kind of thing. But the bottom line is you're still selling books. The difference being that, a couple of the differences being that Amazon, you don't have to take photos of the books. However, Amazon is more geared towards newer books, less collectible books, where eBay is more first edition, signed books, collectible, rare, funky niches, also book lots, that kind of thing. As an example, I have a lot of boxes here labeled and crates and whatnot that have many different lots in them. Not just book lots, also DVD, CD lots, but I have many book lots as well, as an example. But that's not what this is about. This is generally about just reselling, books. So the three things that I would tell you or recommend that you have, that you fall into, or that will make sense for your life, are having a little extra money to invest in new inventory. Number two, having space to store your books. So just using my retail store as an example, imagine you have a big bookshelf, small bookshelf, whatever it is, and it's empty, or you have space and you want to fill it up slowly with books. And as they sell, you ship them out. So having space. And then number three is having time to find inventory. Now, you don't need tons of hours a week. I would say starting out, go to the thrift store, go to a garage sale, that kind of thing. A couple hours a week, when you have time. I'm assuming you're working full-time or part-time, or maybe you're raising kids at home, stay-at-home parent, whatever it is. But, having time to do that, I would say to start out, maybe like 4 hours a week, that kind of thing. You have to learn how to sell, right? So you got to invest some time into it. So you need time, a little bit of money, and space. Patience helps as well, but those are the three. So number one, a little bit of money. How much do you need? Well, you can go to a thrift store, a local thrift store. I would avoid Goodwill in general, unless you have a really good one. But I would go to the smaller thrift stores, the mom and pops, not the big chain thrift stores. Just as a tip. And you go through the books and you start looking for stuff that makes sense to sell. Now, this video is not about how to. It's just about whether it makes sense, for the average person who's looking to start a side hustle, make extra income through selling used books. So let's say go to a thrift store, or you can go to a garage sale or a estate sale. They'll typically have books. You're gonna need a little bit of money. So books, generally used books at thrift stores, garage sales, it varies. I've bought books for as little as 25 cents, 50 cents. And for much more, individual books, right? But on average, I would say whether it's a thrift store, garage sale, estate sale, even a library book sale, go to your local library, see if they do book sales. Friends of the library will do that. And typically it's like between $1 and $3 on average. If you go to a thrift store and all the books are $5, say $10, that's an expensive thrift store for books. Generally, thrift stores it'll be like $1 for paperback, $1.50, $2, maybe $3 for hardcover, maybe $2 for paperback, that kind of thing. And that's fine. I would say as long as you can stay under $5 per hardcover and about $3 and under for a paperback, you should be okay. So let's say you want to, you're going to buy 10, 20 books. Let's say 20 books. So you need $20, well, plus tax, right? But you need a little bit of money. So you can't have zero money unless you're going to sell what you own already and just test it out that way. But aside from that, you got to have a little bit of money. I would say at least a couple $100 to be able to invest in some inventory, put it up on Amazon, put it up on eBay, and wait to see what sells, And then number two, you need to have space, right? So you need to have a way to organize it. On Amazon and on eBay, you can put a SKU, which basically you can put anything in there, where you bought it from and where it's located. So you could say like, well, if you only have one bookshelf, it's going to be easy, but bookshelf one, shelf one, shelf two, shelf three, etc. So you can find it, right? Have that storage. If you're going to try to get to 100 books, make sure you have enough room, not just stacking them on the floor, because you want to be able to find them when they sell. And then the third one I was talking about was time, right? So having that extra time. So go to the thrift store, set a goal. After work, I'm going to go for 1 hour, 3 days a week. And on the weekends, I'll go for a couple hours. I'll try out a garage sale, I'll try an estate sale, I'll try a library book sale, that kind of stuff. There's also swap meets, flea markets. There's all kind of places you can go to. But I would say those are the three big ones, and if you have the time, if you have somewhere to store some books, and if you have a little bit of extra money, a couple $100 to start, because if you invest $100 in 100 books, let's say 50 books, if they're $2 a piece, 35-ish books, if they're, $3 a piece, whatever it is, and you sell, 10 of them in the first month, make back your money, and then you're in the profit, you're already making some profit, then you can start reinvesting that into more inventory. So you don't need that much money, but it's important to have a little bit. If you only have $1 or $2, it's probably not going to work, but I would say at least $100, $200 to start and go from there. Hopefully this helps a little bit. Definitely ask questions, leave comments. If you're brand new and you're thinking about selling books, there's so much more to it, but this is just a little bit of an insight from a person who's been selling for over 10 years. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.